When you watch HGTV, the formula seems simple. A struggling home, a dream team of designers and builders, and a jaw-dropping reveal that feels like a fairy tale ending. But what happens when the cameras turn off, the crews pack up, and families are left to live in those houses? The truth isn't always glossy. Poison paint, leaking showers, unlicensed work, lawsuits, and financial collapse have followed some of HGTV's biggest renovation shows. Today, we'll pull back the curtain on the reality behind the reveals, and you'll want to stick around until the end, because these stories will forever change how you see television renovations. Let's start in Chicago with one of HGTV's flashiest hits, Windy City Rehab. In 2019, Anna and James Morrissey bought a $136 million home featured on the first season. Hosts Allison Victoria and Donovan Eckhart seemed to deliver perfection on screen. But once the cameras were gone, the Albet, Morrissey's discovered disaster. Water leaked through windows, walls, and ceilings. An upstairs shower even poured into the kitchen below. They pointed out more issues with the front door, the garage, and exterior masonry. By the end of that year, they filed suit accusing the show of fraud. Victoria later released a statement saying her intent had always been to design a great home in a great neighborhood, and confirmed that the lawsuit was settled. But the damage didn't stop there. In 2020, another lawsuit landed, this time from investors. The Ward family had put $3 million into a Lovenward LLC, the company funding 7 of the show's projects. Their claim that the stars showed sheer ineptitude and gross mismanagement, failing to meet basic building standards and leaving properties riddled with issues. According to their allegations, nearly every project needed major repairs. A quick pause. If you want to stay updated on all things HGTV, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video if you're enjoying it so far, and drop a comment to share your thoughts. All right, let's jump back in. Victoria tried to separate herself from the controversy, insisting she was the designer, not the contractor. But the lawsuits left viewers asking how much of what we see on screen is sustainable and how much is smoke and mirrors. Now to Bentonville, Arkansas, where Dave and Jenny Mars charmed audiences on Fixer to Fabulous. Their mission was to restore historic homes, and fans loved their heartwarming family dynamic. But in 2018, Dana and Tyler Craddock learned how messy television projects could get. They agreed to have their home renovated for the show. What they didn't know was that neither the Mars nor their companies had the proper state licenses or permits for the work. Renovations went forward anyway. Unauthorized changes were made, and by the end, the house wasn't up to code. Official inspectors hadn't even been brought in to verify the work. The Craddocks waited for answers, but 2 years passed with no resolution. In 2021, they filed a lawsuit demanding at least $75,000 in compensation. The case highlighted a key reality. Glossy reveals mean little if the legal foundations are missing. And then there's kitchen cousins. John Colinari and Anthony Carino turned their family construction company into television content, promising dream kitchens and sleek makeovers. But in 2013, Robert and Peng Avery hired them for a large remodel at their New Jersey home, paying $211,000. What they received instead was chaos. The Averys accused the company of delays, unjust charges, and falsely claiming inspections had passed when they hadn't. Plumbing, ductwork, and doors were improperly installed. Eventually, the project was abandoned altogether. The couple sued for fraud, breach of contract, and negligence. In the end, they were awarded $857,894. The payout hit the cousins so hard that they filed for bankruptcy. The show was short-lived, and the lawsuit became its lasting legacy. The picture wasn't much better for Good Bones, starring Karen E. Lane and Mina Starsiak-Hawk. Their company, Two Chicks and a Hammer, had built a reputation flipping Indianapolis properties. But in 2017, they came under fire from the Environmental Protection Agency. The charge, mishandling lead paint. They had renovated 3 homes built before 1978, when lead paint was still legal. Federal law requires strict safety practices when working with toxic materials. The EPA said the company wasn't certified and had failed to properly dispose of lead waste. The result was a $40,000 fine and an order to produce 2 educational videos. One explained how to safely renovate homes with lead paint, while the other focused on protecting children from exposure. This wasn't unique. Chip and Joanna Gaines faced a similar penalty in 2018. But it underscored the risks when TV production moves faster than regulations. Good Bones faced more legal problems. In 2016, the duo was sued over a project involving a garage, fencing, and driveway. A neighbor claimed their work caused damage and trespassing. The details stayed private, but reports confirmed legal back and forth, including a countersuit, and the challenges didn't end there. In 2022, Mina revealed publicly that she was broke, saying she had been served with another lawsuit tied to risky business. She even appealed to fans on Instagram, asking if any attorneys in Indiana could help. It was a stark contrast to the polished image of HGTV success. When you line up these cases, the pattern is undeniable. Homeowners left with leaks and unsafe. Wiring. Investors accusing stars of mismanagement. Renovators fined for violating environmental laws. Families waiting years for promised repairs. The HGTV reveals make for great television, but the reality is often messier, more expensive, and sometimes dangerous. To be fair, not every show ends in lawsuits. Many families are thrilled with their transformations, and most hosts never see a courtroom. But the repeated controversies across multiple programs prove that HGTV magic often comes with fine print. For viewers, it's a reminder to separate entertainment from reality. Television compresses months of work into 40 minutes, skipping over the endless permits, inspections, and setbacks. The happy ending we see isn't always the ending families live with. So next time you watch a dramatic reveal, think about the stories behind the headlines. $1 million Chicago home with a leaking shower, an Arkansas renovation without permits, a New Jersey family left with an abandoned kitchen, and an Indianapolis team fined for mishandling toxic paint. It's proof that behind every shiny renovation montage, there's a risk that the fairy tale might crack. What do you think? Do these lawsuits change how you see HGTV shows? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates.